As you all know, I have been starting into fiber optics. I am still a noob when it comes to fiber optics, just a little FYI for you people. I am not an expert. I am a novice, but I have started working with them. And I do have a very budget little kit laid before me of what I use when I'm doing said fiber optics cabling and whatnot. So I wanted to go through a few of the tools today and show you guys what I got. And I should be able to post links for these on below in the video section of where I got all these tools. And yeah, how they work and whatnot. Or, well, I'll do that in the video. Anyway, let's start with the light source and meter. So this is actually a little laser. This one here is 5 milliwatts, so it's basically only good for like about, I think, 20K. And here's the light source that it connects to. A basic example of how this little bad boy works is that you take a cable like this. I actually have ferrule adapters here to go from LC to SC, or FC, whatever. So basically you can take an SC connector like this, and you can plug this into your cable. I should probably actually turn off my light for this for a minute, so that you guys can see. So if I turn this laser on, you can actually see the laser there. So this is used for finding faults in a cable. So if you'll notice, the other end of this cable is now showing red light. Oh my god, I'm blinding you. Put on your laser glasses if you're looking at this. No, it's a camera. This will not harm you. So a handy little thing. There's the fiber cable in operation. Now, what you do with your light meter, there's a few different ways to do this, but you can start at the front of your network. Just putting my adapter on here. So you can actually zero this and you can measure your loss. So this is visible red laser, so I'll just put it at 1310. So I'm going to turn on my source, and you're going to see that I'm about -8. I'm just going to zero that. Oh, it does not like that at all. Okay, so there we go. So we're zeroed. So now this will actually show you how many decibels of light we're receiving, how much signal. And if I kink it, you'll see me attenuating it, and you'll actually see the loss showing up. There we go. It's kind of neat, eh? You can actually like bend the cable, and you can see the leakage, right? And you can see as I bend the cable, and as I actually, you know what? Let me just close the curtain. Here's my light source. If you're watching the display there, you can see as I kink it, you can see the light building up right here, and you'll see the attenuation on there. Now, I've got a hell of an angle on here. You can see all the light coming out. And as you can see, that the more I do it, you can see more attenuation on the signal. Now, if I bend that back, as you can see, I didn't break the cable. It's kind of neat, eh? Just a little tiny bit of that. And you can, or I could just snap it. But you really got to kink it at 90 to snap it. So anyway, there's an example of a visual light finder and your source and your meter. Yeah, how you can find loss and whatnot. This is not an OTDR meter. This is simply just to see if you've got enough light coming out at the other end, basically. That's it. It's just a very, very simple tool just to make sure that you've got light. And the thing about the fiber optics here is that, sure, you can see this red laser. Fiber optics generally run at infrared, so you cannot see the light coming off of the end of your cable on your connector, which is dangerous, because if you don't know any better and you were to say take this connection here and then plug it into a patch panel or into a transceiver and then look into the end of it trying to find light, you're not going to see that. In fact, you're going to burn your eyeballs out. The safe way that you can see infrared light is with a cell phone. Really interesting. So if you want to see infrared on your fiber optics, this little camera here, you can put it for camera mode and then just go like this. And if you see white light in the middle of the ferrule, then you know that you've got infrared coming through it. So there you go. So there's the first little part of the kit that I wanted to explain to you guys. Now this kit here I got for about, I think it was $80 on Amazon. It came with some other tools that were completely useless, except for the cleaver. The cleaver is good. And by the way, a little tip about these. The switch will turn itself on. So here's just what I've learned. Flip it around. Flip your battery around. Put the cover back on. Then, if you accidentally turn it on, it's not going to kill your battery. Okay, so that's your light meter kit, okay? Some old dudes call them rubies. Oh, you know what? There's a very critical part that I didn't bother showing you guys. My microscope, which is not in this room, so I'm not going to worry about it this exact moment. But I've got a special microscope for inspecting these ends. Okay. Tip cleaners. This is for LCs, or sorry, SC connectors. So this is actually two-part. So this guy here can actually go into an SC port. You unlock it, you push it into the SC. You twist. It just cleans it like that. If you've got a cable, and you should actually do this before you're installing any cables, you take your SC and clean. So you do that to this head, and then you do it in the port, and then you plug it into the port, and you're guaranteed a clean connection. You don't have to worry about burning the head of the ferrule at some point and, you know, killing it. This one's specifically for LCs. LCs are the little tiny guys right here. Click. And if I want to do this on a transceiver or a port, I can just take the end off, stick it in, and clean. It's that easy. I got this one at, this one's from, oh crap, FIS, and this one's from fs.com. You just lock it when you're not using it, right? There's other two tools that I use. Let's see here, what else do we got? This is just an introduction, by the way. This isn't like an in-depth study. I can give you guys way more details about that later. We can focus specifically on types of connectors and that. This is for slitting flat drop cable. So this guy here, actually one of my colleagues in the group actually brought this to my attention. So when you're working with flat drop cable, which is fiber to the premise or fiber to the home cable, you open this guy up, slide it in, and then you just go like this, and you pinch, and there's two blades in here, one here and one here, and then you hold it like this, and you pull. Now when you do that, that will split this open. And then you can get to the sweet, sweet fiber inside. So this peels the jacket back for you. Here's your buffer tube. And then you can take a pair of cutters. I don't have my scissors up here at the moment, but here you go. And then you've got your tube here, and then you can actually take your strippers. These strippers have 3 holes in them. Okay, so these strippers have 3 holes in them. The first one is for your tube, your buffer tube. So you grip it on. All right, there you go, and it strips this away. This is gel-filled cable. I'm just using what I've got on hand. Everybody's got their own preference for cables, so don't troll about it, okay? And remember, I am new to this. There, so I've got all the gel off of it. Then the next step is that you take the middle one, or sorry, the small one here, and this will strip off what's called the cladding. That blue stuff is the cladding. As you can see, I'm taking it off of there. This will have to be done like close up. So I'll do that in my how to splice a fiber video. And then you wipe it off. And there's your teeny tiny glass fiber. Wonder what I can do to make you see it better. See it? So it goes buffer tube, cladding, fiber, and of course jacket, main cable, and all that. These little guys, by the way, suck to get in your feet, so try not to. in your hands, your feet, anything. I'm actually going to take this one out. And we're going to use this for my splicing demo, which I'm going to do after this video. So I'll put that aside. Remember, these ends suck. Because that's actually that's glass, okay? Remember that. So if you're working with these things, you have to be extra cautious, which I will show you. Because when you get a little break on one of these, a little shard, and it gets in your foot or your hand, because you just wiped it down with isopropyl alcohol, which is what's in this bottle, it's sterile. So you now have a glass sliver in your body that is sterile, which means it's not coming out easy. You go rub your hand or your foot in dog shit and then hope that it gets infected and pusses it out. But we just covered a couple of tools in one. Here are strippers. And there's varying qualities of these. These guys are just cheapies. I got them with my splicer kit. Okay, so this is the Fiber to the Home flat drop slitter. It's made by Jonard. www.jonard.com. I'll put a link to it of where I got it on Amazon. I put that back in the bag. We're going to save these for after. These are buffer tube splitters. This one's actually called the slitter. I got this one on Amazon, and this one I believe is a Jonard. Is this one a Jonard? I think this is Jonard as well. So this one here is for actually cutting jackets, cable jackets. So it's got a bunch of blades in them. It'll cut different sizes of cables. It makes it easier because actually these two here are pretty much the same animal. This one has a blade inside, and you actually stick it onto your cable, and then you can actually go around it like so. I'll do it on my thing right here. So you just stick that on there, and then you go around it like this. And like cutting a pipe, it cuts into your cable, and then you lift it up, and then this one will go on an angle. So now you can stick it on here, and on a larger cable you can wrap it around, and it creates a spiral. And then you can just rip the spiral off, and you've got the cable exposed. These ones are quicker, and they all have their purpose, right? Again, I'm still learning. So with this one here, you can take a piece of, say, let's see what I got. Here's some 12 strand. Okay, so you've got your tube, your strands, and your jacket here. So I'm just going to stick this on here as an example. There we go. Yeah, get in there. Okay, so you stick that on there, and you pull it through. That will open the cable for you. So now you've got your Kevlar fuzz, horrible god-awful fuzz. Oh yes. And then you use your scissors, which are not on my bench right now. Sorry, that was not well thought out on my behalf. There we go. I just use Klein scissors, by the way. And now you can take your buffer tube splitter, which one did I use? This one here. You can stick it on here. And this is good for mid-spans and whatnot. See, let's just see here. Am I doing this right? I'm going to try this side. Let's try this one first. There we go. So I'm going to grip that. There we go. And you just do the same thing. Pull. And that opens up the buffer tube. And as you can see here, the fiber is actually all the way down here. And that's because this was a demo piece that I used. See, the fiber is all hanging out the end of this thing already, right? 12 strand. But yeah, so you use this thing to actually shred through. And go ahead and make fun of me. I mean, yeah, that was not clean. Sorry. But yeah, you basically split that up, and it actually slits both sides of this and allows you to just peel it away like I did earlier. And then you've got your exposed cable here. This is a gel cable, so it's covered in nasty goo. And then you can get into it and do what you need to. So those are the tools that I'm using right now. As I grow and learn this trade, I will continue on. Now here's one of the most important tools. This is your cleaver, and this one came with my fusion splicer. Okay, so we're going to take these guys and put them back in. Here we go. And here's my fusion splicer. This is a signal fire. You can get them from varying places. Apparently you can get these on Ali for about $900 US. I got mine on Amazon for about $2,200. Reason why I chose Amazon over Ali is I know I ended up paying a lot more money, but With Amazon, I also got the extended warranty, so if anything happens to it, we're good. This guy also communicates with your cell phone. There's an app, so it can actually talk to you and do your thing. But it's got a little screen here. Here's where the fusion actually happens. There's actually a couple of little electrodes down inside there, and they fuse the glass. So I'll be demoing that in the next video. But this is your kit. This is what you need. And these Kim wipes, by the way, are amazing. These are not just Kleenex. They're actually like, they don't have the speckles and little pieces of lint and dust and shit like that Kleenex has. This is like scientific wipes, apparently. They're used in electronic shops too. So, got our wipes. Got our ISO bottle like the doctors use. We got our cleaver here for cleaving the strands. And we've got our strippers. So this is the kit that I actually got with Signal Fire from this guy here. This fusion splicer has been friggin' amazing so far. I've already done 87 splices with it. It says that there's 2913, so 2,913 remaining before I need to get it recalibrated and potentially get the electrodes replaced. I got a free set of electrodes with it just in case. Battery pack pops out here, so you can get an extra battery. It's got a couple of cool extra features on it. One of them being that it's got a light. How do I turn the light on? I forget. There's a button here. There's a button here. All right, there. So it's got a light right there for when you're working at night. It's actually not too dim. And place to charge your cell phone. And of course the 12-volt input to charge at 13-volt. Handy because there's an app, a companion app that goes on this on your phone, so that this thing will actually tell you how the cleave looks and how the splice looks and everything like that. So that's really all there is to it. Those are the tools that I've got in my kit right now, and it's a handy little kit, and it does the job quite nicely. But it definitely is one of the cheaper kits that you can get. An industry standard fusion splicer will probably run you around $6,500 to $7,000, like $6,500 to $7,000 for a InnoView, or you know, the cheaper Fujikaras and that sort of stuff. If you're getting like a high-end fusion splicer, you're looking at around starting at 13 grand. And the difference is that these guys here, you can't put connectors in them. You can only splice strands, or you know, these guys here. The better ones, you can actually change the shoes. They actually come out, and you can actually put them in with you know, a connector holder, so you can actually get connectors like this. And the boot here is where the splice is done underneath, so you'd have like a tail hanging out here of fiber. You stick this in like so, and it will splice or the piece of cable onto it, and then you put your boot back on, seals it up. These ones are mechanical splice hands, so you can tell. But yeah, so that's basically the toolkit for doing fiber optics stuff. So hope you enjoyed that video. I will be doing another video about how to use a fusion splicer momentarily. And I'm not releasing them all at once, so you guys have to wait. I'm trying to space these out, otherwise YouTube gets pissed off and penalizes you, because, you know, YouTube. Anyway, ciao Bella.